So this is a game I had against rePete on Protracted. It's NATO's map, and it plays relatively similarly to ASDF with the shock in the centre. This was the third match out of 3 games we played, and we got the same spawns as this in the first one, so I know that he's going to be near rockets, so I take the link and spam some primary towards him. So I end up not hitting anything, and I mess a couple of jumps up. I expected him to go straight for the shock, but when I notice that it's still up from the flak area, I go straight for it because I really want that central position. So I pretty much have him cornered around flak, which is really beneficial for me, because I can get this first 100 really cleanly.
First blood.
So there was a relatively messy fight that we had there. I ended up coming out much better than him, and despite him hitting the sniper shot on the exit, I still had a much better stack and a weapon advantage on him. So I follow up with a combo, which gives me first blood, as well as this 50 armor. I know now that shock, sniper and rockets will all be up. I hear him take the shock, so I'm going to take the sniper and then back off onto the rockets. He's probably going to hold the top position, but I know that he wants this next 100 armor. I dive onto the 100 through the helmet drill, I guess, and now he's trapped in the link area, which is really bad for him. I can sit here all day and spam combos, he can't really go anywhere. I've got this 100 on lockdown, and I've also got the belt, because I know the belt will be spawning at 9. He can't go anywhere, so I can just back onto it as I please. So I did no damage to him, which isn't an issue because I get the belt. He's got no armor. I can also take this 50. He might get shock, but I think he already has it, so it's not too big a deal. So overall, I'm still heavily in control. Now he has the central area. I don't really want to attack him. If he dives for the 100, I can go up to the top, but I don't want to push through this combo. Those vials tell me that he's jumping down, which means I have the position advantage and I can take a fight at the 100 armor. At this point I just want to kill him. I've got a massive advantage, I've got a massive weapon advantage. The most he can do to me is probably about 200 damage. So I've got a massive advantage going into this fight. So I ended up hitting 2 direct rockets on me, which was worst case scenario, but I still survive and I can get these health packs. I know now that I want to be cautious because there's a while until the next 100 armor comes up, and I don't want him to kill me now, get a weapon advantage, then get better positioning than me, and then get the next 2 items. Luckily for me, he gets the sniper spawn, and I can just take him out with a nice combo. He did a fair bit of damage to me, so I want to get this 50, and I want the next 100 armor ideally. So those vials tell me that it's at shock. I can take this 100 and then I can probably go for the belt, or I could push up into him at this point. So I take the belt, but he does a load of damage to me at it. There's nothing for him to take. It would have been perfect if he was on the other side and he could just back off onto the 50, but he's only got the helmet. But overall, really well played by him. He managed to half nullify this belt that I took, so now my control's really weakened. Unfortunately for him, he's backed himself off into the link area again, and I can sit here all day and take pot shots at him with the sniper, take the 50 or the armor at will. So either he's going to have to go out through the rockets area, or through the or the armor area, or just stay there. Either way, I get either the 50 or the 100. So I take the 100, he takes the 50. We're not too far away from each other in stacks now, so he wants to build up vials and try and take the next major item, which will be coming up in 20 seconds, or perhaps even 25. And he intelligently backs off to maintain that vial stack that he's building. So I spotted him at the helmet. I decided to take the high road and attack from the high ground, so I've got an advantage in the fight if I choose to take it. So I notice him running off in the other direction, so I assume he's going towards the belt, which is coming up really soon. So I'm going to try and go for that. So he hit a nice direct rocket, but it didn't end up mattering because I just jumped straight onto the belt. I now know that he's going straight for the 100 armor, because the only way I could have gotten there so fast is if I left it up. So he ends up getting the armor. It doesn't do him too much good in that fight. We had quite a messy rockets fight. He took most of the belt off me, which was well played on his part. And now he has a position advantage, but not enough health to really make use of it. So he surprises me here at the 50. I assume he anticipated me taking it. I don't think he hit the shot, which was unfortunate. If he had hit it, that would have been fantastic for him. But unfortunately he didn't. So once again we have a relatively messy fight. He hits a nice rocket on me, which puts us at fairly even stacks. There's not much that can one-shot him but not me, so if we took a fight, both of us would be risking it at this point. I think the 100 armor's coming up reasonably soon. Belt's not for a while, so we can back off, grab weapons, grab vials, and wait for the next fight, really. So right there, I tried to take the shock area, so I've got a big advantage at this 100 fight. Well played by him that he he didn't go straight for it, and he hit a nice rocket that just takes me out on the spot. And now he's going to be at 100, 100, so relatively well stacked. So a really good spawn for me, because I can take the rockets, take the helmet. I avoid taking any damage as well, which is nice. So despite this big armor lead that he's got on me, he can't really push up through here. If he tries to take the lift jump, which is what he does, I can just ping him back with a couple of shock primaries and then jump straight onto the belt. So a lucky spawn for me, but that just gives me the belt essentially. So he's trapped in this rockets room, which is unfortunate for him. He's going to have to try and push out without taking damage. Otherwise that 100 armor that he worked for will be destroyed pretty quickly. Once again, I'm just holding this top area because it's so important and it gives you such a great overview of the map. I can push him back into the rockets room. Around sniper area, all he can really do is take pot shots at me. He hits a nice couple of shots, but I can back off onto the 50, I can back off onto the 100, so it's not a huge deal for me to lose some here. So that was really well played by him there. Unfortunately, didn't have much of an outcome for him. He didn't end up doing any damage. But he has the positioning advantage now, and I'm foolish to push up here, which is what I do. So that combo pops me up towards him. I try to do damage with the rockets, but he essentially just dispatches me there. So that's an example of how you can ruin someone's belt, or someone's stack lead, or their armor lead, and their weapon advantage just by having great positioning there. So now we're kind of just fighting in between items. I don't want to take a fight outright. I don't want to commit because he's got a massive advantage over me. So I'm more concentrating on dodging damage than dealing it out.
5-minute warning.
We trade sniper shots there, which is much better for him because he can now one-shot me. I can't one-shot him. This belts up really soon. I could grab this 50. The smart play would be to go to the 100 after this. So right there he hit me again with the sniper, so he's done even more damage to me. He massively outstacks me. I see the 100 up. He could bait it here. He doesn't end up doing it. I think he's slightly late to the 100. So I claw back some stack, but still my health is so low that I can't really make use of it yet. I decide to go left towards the link to grab the health because I've exhausted all the armor and the vials near the 50 area. But unfortunately I'm committing to getting myself stuck in this area and I'm going to have to find a way out. So I see an opening and get out, eventually. I hit a really lucky rocket there, I have to say, which pushes him back a fair bit. Really unfortunate that he ran into that. But what this means is that I have a relatively similar stack to him now. I can go to the 50, I can grab vials, but most importantly I can take the shock area in the middle. That lift sound let me know that he was on his way up and he could be vulnerable when he lands, so I whip out the rockets and try to take a rockets fight. Despite me outstacking him slightly, I think, he still wins the fight. He hits a nice shot on the way out, and now it's tied. He's still relatively low, so I can expect he'll be near these health packs, or perhaps the 50. So I know he grabbed the health, I grabbed the 50 in vials, so I do have a bigger stack than him. So I just decided to rush him with the stinger. He could probably kill me in one hit with the combo here, so, you know, not the best of my ideas that I've had, but I think it works out in the end. So I just kill him there on 5 health, and that was once again fairly lucky, but when you think about it, if I had died there, I get Link, I get Shock probably for free, and Flak, and I can get the next 100 armor, and he would have had relatively low health. I'm hiding to block line of sight from the rockets area, so he can't kill me with sniper, and I'm just covering my arse in the other angles that he could come from, waiting for this belt. So he did a load of damage with Link. I didn't really want to commit to the fight with Stinger or Shock, just because I only had 5 health under that belt, and 155 isn't much more than 100 base health. So instead I back off. I had the intention of going towards the 50, but I instead moved to look for the sniper shot. So I have access to those health packs, I can replenish some health, grab a Link gun which might kind of come in handy. I look for the exit sniper, which doesn't end up happening, but I can go get this 50 now. Instead what happens is I prioritize the center, and I expect him to be at those health packs, and I can literally sit here all day and spam combos because there's ammo up here, there's another Shock about to spawn, and he can't do any damage to me because of the massive advantage that this height gives you. What happens there is I take the vials and he intelligently reacts by coming straight up with rockets, because he'll have the high ground and he hits a really nice exit rocket, and now I'm forced to either go to the 50 or take these health packs again and lock myself into this Link room. So the 100's up, but he massively outstacks me. He's got a much better position than me to take it, and he's also got a much better position to do damage to me. So I really don't want to be taking too much damage at this point.
3 minutes remain.
So while I hit 2 primaries, the one primary that he did to me was probably much more important, because now he can one-shot me with almost anything, basically. So as I notice him going towards the helmet, I should probably be moving towards the 50. And he just doubles back and kills me with a nicely placed combo. This spawn's alright. I can take sniper, I can take rockets, or I can go to the 50. Belt's up soon, so there's always that to consider. Luckily for me, he was relatively slow coming to the belt, so I get a nice grab. I lose it all, but it doesn't matter because I did, when you think about it in net damage, I've done a load more damage to him than he has to me, because I spawned with 100 and I end up with 98. And I hit a direct and did some bio-grenade gas damage, which was definitely more than 2. I now have shock and much better position than him to get the next 100. This is an example of a place or a point in the game where this is actually a better position than the shock area, because I can see him coming from flak, I can see him coming from rockets, and when you don't know where he is, it's really useful to be able to, you know, see him from a distance and hit a couple of primaries. He's probably going to be at the 50, if I were to guess. That rocket, the direction it comes from tells me it's a sniper, and I can take this fight here. I massively outstack him. Well, not massively, but I have double his stack. So any fight I take here, I'll be in an advantage at. So that fight there had some pretty poor movement on my behalf, but it doesn't matter. I hit one primary, and that's all that it needed to push him back. And now he's the one trapped at the health packs. 100's up, not up for a while. The 50 should be up relatively soon, but I can delay for as much as I want, really. I instead decide to just go aggressive, push him away from the area, take this 100, and I've got good time to get to the belt. As you're probably noticing, it's a good idea on this map to take the high ground when you're approaching an item. This puts me at a much better, you know, positional advantage than he is if he tries to dive on the item, but also means that I can dive towards it and push him away if I want to. And that's what I do. I spam some rockets and combos in his direction, which forces him towards the link gun area. Now I have rockets, I have sniper under my control. So we both expect each other there. We trade combos, but like I said earlier about the sniper, if you're in control, you've got a bigger stack, it's much better to be trading for you than it is for them. He's now really low, and I can push on to this fight and kill him. So there I take the 100, he blocks all the damage that I could have done to him, which is a shame. It would have been nice to have gotten a spawn frag, but you know, stuff happens. Now he's probably going to be moving towards shock to get the positioning on you know, the other items around the map, the 50 and some vials. So instead of using that position to grab items, he intelligently doubles back and hits me with a nice combo, which puts, which destroys my stack almost. Now that advantage I worked for is really slim, and he can play quite defensively. There's only a minute left, but it's only one frag in it, so he's going to have to commit to a fight at some point. But he's got a little bit of freedom as it is to, you know, back off, grab guns, grab items, and then take a fight right near the end.
One minute.
So my thought process here was to go for the 50 and then go straight to the vest. He intercepts me to do damage on the way, which keeps my stack relatively low so that he can take the fight later on and tie it up.
Remains.
So I chase him off towards the 100. He hits a nice rocket, which essentially denies me that armor pickup. He also hits a primary. So I've lost stack that fight. He hasn't gained any, but still a good situation for him. This belt's coming up really soon though. He probably should have gone up the lift instead of chasing me along the same path, because then he could have, you know, hit a prediction combo on me at the belt. So now it's getting pretty late into the game. There's only 30 seconds left. That fight was alright for him. I think I ended up with almost exactly the same armor. So he did enough damage to me. He did lose some himself, but now he really has to commit.
Thirty seconds left.
So he forces me off the 100 armor, so I'm delegated to the 50, and now, you know, it's getting really close to the end of the game, and he's going to have to push me here. So I decide to take up a sort of defensive position on this ramp at the 50. So I do a load of damage to him there. We're both really low, but he has to do something about this now.
10, 9, 8, 7.
And of course he does, and he hits a really nice prediction combo. So it's in overtime now. The next frag will win the game. Unfortunately for him, he's really low, so he's going to have to take health, he's going to have to take some armor. What I have to do is get weapons and hopefully this next 100 armor.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Overtime.
So I've got the next 100, which is really good for me. He can back up to the 50, or he can hold this position in the center of the map and try and do damage to me when I go for my next item, which happens to be the rockets. So he took the second option and he held that position. He pushed up slightly too far, arguably, and I hit a combo. And unluckily for him, he couldn't get around the corner in time, and I finished the game with the primary. So yeah, that was a nice close game. There are a few mistakes on both sides, but I think it was enjoyable to play and to watch.